I am 40 years old, and it's crazy to look at all the time that I've spent alive and realize that for more than half of that time, the U.S. has been engaged in large-scale armed conflict somewhere in the world. Don't call them wars, though. The U.S. hasn't formally declared war on another country since World War II. And even in the years that we didn't have troops in Iraq or Afghanistan, the U.S. has been involved, to some degree, in military action for basically every single day that I've been alive. And as much as Trump likes to paint himself as anti-war when it is convenient to him, he clearly loves the idea of getting to preside over one as commander-in-chief. For a little while there, it looked like it might be Iran, but war with Iran would be a mess. So, after dropping a very large bomb on Iran, Trump checked the list to see which other countries the war hawks have been salivating over, and he decided, hey, Venezuela, that might be a more suitable target.
And to a certain degree, we've already been at war with Venezuela for several months now, though it's been a very one-sided war where we just blow up random boats from 1,000 miles away and claim that we simply had to do it to them because they were transporting massive amounts of illegal drugs. And by do it to them, we mean, of course, kill everyone on board, even if that means coming back to finish them off. Trump and his allies are definitely getting a real kick out of this, but it's clearly still not enough to fully satiate their bloodlust. So it's been a very real concern as of late that after a year of claiming Venezuela is invading the U.S. with drugs and gangs, Trump's going to say we simply must invade Venezuela, and he's more than insinuated that that's what he's going to do, or wants to do. Plus, with Trump's approval rating down to around just 36%, what better time than now for a war to make us all just really rally behind our flag and president? And you know what? A good chance for Trump to do something he hasn't done yet, to milk his supporters out of even more money by selling them Trump war bonds. Yeah. Because that is something that I could definitely see happening.
No, you just willed that into existence. I don't know if the rally behind the flag thing would really work.
No, it absolutely would not.
The last time that happened, we had just gone through 9/11, and they cooked up quite a tale about how Iraq was going to kill us all with, like, weapons of mass destruction.
During a time before social media existed and the widespread proliferation of actual videos and knowledge of what is going on.
And now here we are, like 20-some years later, after I feel like most people are now just like, yeah, that was a little, things got a little bit out of hand there. Like, I just don't see it with Venezuela, but God knows they're going to try.
They certainly are.
So yeah, on Tuesday, following an interview with Politico, where Trump seemed pretty eager to escalate things with Venezuela, Dems and one Republican in the Senate decided to maybe try and get ahead of this while there's still time.
Yeah.
Here's Politico. The Senate is likely to vote on a new effort to restrain President Donald Trump from taking military action against Venezuela next week, a top sponsor of the measure said Tuesday. The move follows comments from Trump to Politico indicating that he isn't ruling out deploying ground troops in the next phase of military operations against alleged drug smugglers. It's an escalation of rhetorical pressure that sponsors say could help their case as they push to win more Republican support for a third war powers vote after 2 unsuccessful bids.
And yeah, I mean, next year is going to be crazy for a lot of reasons. It's the midterms, and because, theoretically Trump is a lame duck, theoretically he can't run for a third term, and you would assume that at his age, physically it would be impossible as well.
Intellectually.
So this is his next election cycle.
I guess so.
Yeah. I mean, it continues. It makes me hope that I'll get more votes on my no war in Venezuela without a vote from Congress plan when it comes up next week, Senator Tim Kaine, Democrat of Virginia, said in an interview. We're 100 days into a military action that has killed almost 90 people, forced the retirement of the Southcom commander, led to one of our critical allies, the UK, not sharing intel with us. And we haven't even had a public hearing on this yet, Kaine added. During an interview with Politico's Dasha Burns for a special episode of The Conversation, a 45-minute interview about his views on Europe, major American policy challenges, and the future of the GOP, Trump said he's confident he has saved American lives with the lethal strikes against alleged drug smugglers in the Caribbean and Pacific Ocean in recent months. Nobody wants to drive boats to America loaded up with drugs anymore, the president said. And we're going to hit them on land very soon, too. So he's telegraphing it. He's saying it out loud. Also, no, a fucking boat full of drugs was just in Miami this week and
was safely intercepted with the no need for aerial bombardment.
And Mr. President, they got to do the photo. Didn't you see all the drugs on the table, Mr. President?
You are denying so many federal agents and troops the opportunity to put a bunch of drugs on a table and stand behind it awkwardly.
Mr. President, you live driving distance. You could be there in the photo with all the seized drugs, or just send one of those cardboard cutouts. It looks the same. Mm-hmm. In fact, it looks better in a lot of cases.
I mean, I feel like
he's looking pretty jaundiced recently.
I feel like you could make the case to him, and I feel like he would be receptive to that. Mr. Trump, you're letting all these drugs just vanish into the sea when you could have your photo taken. He'd probably say like, "Well, that's what AI's for."
No, you got to show him the clip from Super Troopers where they do the photo thing and he tosses in the gun and he's like, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah,
you got to man it up, in order to really sell it to Trump.
Yeah, it is sort of like trying to convince a toddler to do something.
Jangle the keys, baby. Jangle the keys.
I mean, he literally jangled a fucking medal in front of him and he's like, Is that a Nobel Peace Prize?
Yeah.
Well, close enough.
I love the edit where he looks like he's out of his fucking mind on drugs looking at the prize. Have you seen that edit of it? It's bonkers.
Is that an edit? I think that's a real photo. I don't know what you're
Lord
talking
help us.
about. But the real photo is quite deranged in and of itself. Mm. Anyway, the lone Republican who's backing this is, of course, Rand Paul, who, if nothing else, can at least be relied on to not blindly support unnecessary wars. Credit to him there.
Yeah. He sits very lonely at that table and goes, "I thought this was part of our thing."
Yeah. No, it's just sort of your thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they would still need 4 more Republicans to sign on to this in addition to every single Democrat. But there is at least a few other Republicans who might be willing to sign. There's 2 that seem like they're probably a lock. And then getting 1 more on board, I don't know. It's not entirely out of the question. But of course, even if they do get the votes, would that even matter? Would that do anything? Hasn't stopped them from doing anything else.
I'm still upset at Tim Kaine because it is getting to be mid-December and we haven't heard about those Obamacare subsidies being extended. Mr. Tim Kaine, who stopped the fucking shutdown.
Yeah, he's got a plan. Tim Kaine's plans are measured in centuries.
I don't believe that. I do believe that they were supposed to force a vote very soon or talk about it, but I don't know.
But in the meantime, Trump continues to escalate things with Venezuela, and on Wednesday, he took things even further.
He actually kind of listened to us. He didn't blow up their boat. He took it.
No one died, I'll say that.
He took the boat.
So, I mean, in some ways, it's a de-escalation.
I guess.
The U.S. military boarded and seized a giant oil tanker. Some say the biggest oil tanker that has ever existed.
I guess so.
But wait, hold on a second. I thought our beef with Venezuela was about the drugs and the gangs. What's oil got to do with anything?
Guys, I've been trying to tell you this for weeks.
Wait, is Donald Trump just using flimsy allegations involving dangerous substances as a convenient excuse to go after a country's oil? I mean, that sounds pretty crazy. I don't think the United States would ever do anything like that.
An untarnished record.
We're going to see Pete Hegseth at the UN with a little baggie of fentanyl. A vial of fentanyl.
This could kill everyone in the whole room. And he drops it. Oh! No, and he's going to have like oil smudges on his shirt and stuff, like on his napkin and his handkerchief, all around his mouth.
So, God damn it. Here's CBS News.
The U.S. has seized a large oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela, officials said Wednesday, escalating tensions between the 2 countries. President Trump said he assumes the U.S. will keep the oil. Bloomberg first reported the oil tanker seizure. Mr. Trump announced the seizure during a roundtable meeting at the White House, saying the tanker was seized for a very good reason. As you probably know, we've just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela, a large tanker, very large, he said. Largest one ever seized, actually. And other things are happening. So you'll be seeing that later, and you'll be talking about that later with some other people.
What the fuck?
You'll see.
You'll be talking about it.
It's, he did a David Copperfield. He's always wanted to be like a really big showbiz guy, and he
Behold.
said, "Wahoo! The oil tanker is gone. The biggest oil tanker.
Biggest oil tanker in the world. And it's mine
now." This is... like, we've been not joking about it. I've been trying to,
We stole a ship.
No, I know, but on the show, I've just been like, for at least a couple weeks now, like, guys, this is not about the drugs. This is about the oil. And I'm just wondering when the rest of the country's going to wake up, because it just seems like everyone believes him still.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go to bat for Nicolas Maduro. Like, I think he kind of sucks, but I don't think he's really, like, particularly worse than probably a good solid, like, half of the the leaders of Central and South American countries. Like, there's a lot of fucking bad dudes down there, and for some reason, the only one we care about is sitting on the world's largest oil reserve.
It's just like, Maduro aside, it's just so obvious. Like, this is 1960s, 70s U.S. shit that they would typically do in secret, that they're just like telegraphing now.
Yeah.
Because that way it makes it sound like it's not illegal.
This is because we kneecapped the CIA. If the CIA was still in its prime, we wouldn't be hearing about any of this. It would still be happening, but we wouldn't know
hearing
about it.
Yeah. When asked by a reporter what will happen to the oil on the ship, Mr. Trump responded, "Well, we keep it, I guess," adding, "I assume we're going to keep the oil."
Very cool. This is my oil. Very cool.
He would be so upset if he didn't get to keep that oil, or if there was no oil on it. He'd be furious.
So much oil. Some saying more oil than anyone has ever had on a boat.
I mean, it's clear that, to me at least, and I'm not a military expert, but to me, it's very clear that for the past 4 months or September, whatever, late August, couple of months, he's just been simply trying to provoke a response.
Yeah, that
with continuing escalation.
Yeah, because like
leading to this, where you would assume that this giant oil tanker would maybe have some kind of security, where if all of a sudden it's being commandeered by people in open water, that maybe someone would accidentally,
a single shot gets fired, and that's
over.
War.
Yeah.
Continues, Venezuela's government said in a statement that it strongly denounces and repudiates what constitutes a shameless robbery and an act of international piracy.
They pirated this thing.
In these circumstances, the real reasons for the prolonged aggression against Venezuela have finally been exposed. It's not migration. It's not drug trafficking. It's not democracy. It's not human rights. It was always about our national wealth, our oil, our energy, the resources that belong exclusively to the Venezuelan people, the Venezuelan government said. The tanker is called the Skipper, according to three sources.
Why did it have to have a cute name?
Skipper has fallen. The tanker is called the Skipper, according to 3 sources familiar with the seizure. The operation to seize it started at about 6 a.m. Wednesday and involved 2 helicopters, 10 Coast Guard members, 10 Marines, and Special Operations Forces, according to a senior military official and a source familiar with the operation. The Skipper had just left port in Venezuela when it was seized, they said.
You know,
it won't be skipping anywhere now.
You know what's more dangerous than fentanyl? Well, actually, none of the drug boats had fentanyl on them. That was cocaine.
Yeah.
But you know what's more dangerous than cocaine?
Oil.
Texas tea.
Yeah.
If you doused a small child in oil and lit him on fire, he would die.
Yeah, I mean, even
do you want that to happen to your kids?
Even if you didn't light it on fire, it would be very cruel and unusual.
You know, I think that you could solve a lot of arsons in this country by going around and then going like this and going, smells like Venezuelan oil.
Yeah.
Must be that stuff they're shipping in.
That Venezuelan black gold.
Uh-huh. So look, we're not at war with Venezuela, at least not yet. But it's seeming more and more likely that that's going to happen as these things escalate. And I would love to be wrong. But
they seem to really want to.
Yeah. Public approval for such a war, at least as of a few weeks ago, was abysmal, with only 30% approval and 70% disapproval, which like kind of makes sense because Trump's approval rating's 36. So
yeah,
only 6% of Trump fans are like, eh.
There was multiple questions of this poll, and like the biggest one was just like, has Trump given more information or less information than you would need to go to war? And it was like even more than 70. We're just like, what? Why would we do that? What is the threat? What is the charge?
Well, if they listen to Tom Cotton, there's a lot to be worried about. Anyways, if we keep escalating our military operations down there and kicking the hornet's nest, maybe at some point one of the hornets is going to come at us, and then we will be forced to defend ourselves with a full ground invasion of, I guess, Venezuela, as well as installing more friendly leadership into power. Even though, again, that was one of the Trump's things where he's just like, we're not doing any...
We're not regime change.
Yeah, we're not doing regime change.
It's a leadership pivot.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And of course, compensating ourselves for all the trouble with, of course, that Venezuelan black gold. We're going to make the country so beautiful.
It would be a shame to leave all that oil on the table.
Yes. They're going to be thanking us for what we do to that country in the form of...
They're going to be like, please, take it.
Millions of gallons of oil, yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Plus, once it's over, Trump gets to take credit for ending another war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't say you couldn't take credit for wars you started.
Yeah, just like giving the farmers the bailout.
Plus, I didn't start it. Venezuela started it when fentanyl came into existence.
It's not fentanyl.
No, they're poisoning. They've got enough fentanyl to kill the entire world 20 times over.
I feel like it's also pretty noticeable that they don't explicitly mention fentanyl
Yeah.
throughout the press briefings of these Venezuelan ships. And if they do, they're not like going out
They
of their way
don't
to say that.
mention any drugs because, well, first
Because then that would be like you have to kind of.
they haven't recovered any of the boats because they've destroyed them. Which again, like if you really wanted to support your case, I don't know. I feel like you'd go and capture maybe one boat and say, "See, look, they got all this stuff on them." But,
I mean, also when it comes down to it, like just on the human level, obviously this is disgusting because they're just wasting human lives, just drone striking or hellfire missiling human beings. But realistically, like what takes place in any drug war is that you have people who are clearly just desperate for money and safety and taking care of their families, who are the ones getting blown up, while the guys who are running the show are just like, oh, well, I guess some of our fucking drones died. They don't care either.
Yeah,
the U.S. government doesn't care. The fucking drug kingpins don't care. And poor and innocent people are caught in the crossfire.
I can't remember which outlet it was, but they found some of the families of people who've disappeared.
He's a fisherman. He never came home.
Yeah, they're like, he's like, he runs a fishing boat, and like sometimes he takes odd jobs to like transport people somewhere. And it's like, yeah, that's probably what happened. I guess he deserves to die. So yeah, that's bad. But it's, of course, just one of very many bad things. International tourism to the U.S. is down this year for very obvious reasons, but there's always new and exciting ways to make it go down even further.
Oh.
And this week they unveiled a new, surefire way to get tourists from even our closest allies to at least reconsider plans to visit the United States, because maybe it's just not worth all the effort. Here's the New York Times. Travelers visiting the United States from countries like Britain, France, Germany, and South Korea could soon have to undergo a review of up to 5 years of their social media history, according to a proposal filed on Tuesday by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. The change would affect visitors eligible for the visa waiver program, which allows people from 42 countries to travel to the United States for up to 90 days without a visa, as long as they first obtain electronic travel authorization.
In a document filed on Tuesday in the Federal Register, CBP said it plans to require applicants to provide a long list of personal data, including social media, email addresses from the last decade, and the names, birth dates, places of residence, and birthplaces of parents, spouses, siblings, and children.
That's crazy. I don't know that information about my own parents. Yeah.
Under the current system, applicants from visa waiver countries must enroll in the electronic system for travel authorization program. They pay $40 and submit an email address, home address, phone number, and emergency contact information. The authorization is good for 2 years. Listing your social media has been optional on the application since 2016. Zhao Wang, co-founder and chief executive of Boundless, a visa and immigration assistance company, said in a statement. Mr. Wang said that CBP previously didn't clarify how skipping the question affected applications. Now, he expects the government to increasingly view the absence of social media records as a sign that the applicant is hiding something. And that could have a negative impact on the application. So kids, you better sign up for Instagram and Twitter or X or whatever, because if you don't have a social presence, then you don't exist and you can't get in here. Also, this is disgusting, and it goes into the kind of the same thing that we talked about in the other episode about how they're pushing back like full investigations 5 years into just average Americans as well. So this makes sense that they would do it to people coming in from other countries.
Yeah, we need to see everything you've ever posted online, just to check if any of it's something we might not like.
If you haven't said the fresh, new, hot R word, then I'm sorry, we can't let you in.
Yeah, and this is like, I mean, that seems like a lot of manpower, but of course they're just gonna have fucking AI.
Well, yeah, no, this will be a Palantir thing.
And they're gonna save everything everything they gather. They're gonna save that in case they need to look at it again.
Well, yeah, because what's more valuable than someone coming into the country than taking every bit of their data?
Yeah.
And the $40.
Yeah, over there in their countries, they have like laws that protect us.
Yeah,
protect them from us gathering all their data and just gobbling it down.
It's the digital version of the old joke where someone visiting from out of town steps into the city and immediately gets robbed of all their clothes. It's the digital version of that. You step into America, you are robbed of your privacy.
Yeah.
The second you land.
Like when you're roaming about this country, assuming we let you in.
Yeah.
But when you're here,
if you're lucky enough to get in,
we're going to need to be serving you targeted advertisements. Yeah. And, we don't want to waste any time.
And by the way, we're going to give you a brochure as you leave the airport. It says social media posting guidelines. 1 post a day minimum about how great Trump is.
Yeah.
Like, had a smooth trip at the TSA. Hashtag Trump again.
It's very just like inside baseball, but it's like a fucking like when an influencer gets paid to like promote a product.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so we're gonna need like one Instagram post, posted within an hour of noon Pacific time, and
Got to be a grid post.
you have to do hashtag ad, and you have to tag these accounts.
Yeah, you're gonna have to join Truth Social and start posting.
But it's like, we need you to talk about how much you love President Trump and how America is the best country in the world.
I would never give legal advice, and I'm just saying, I would feel like the best way to get in is if you ask for your social media handles, you put you have a Truth Social account. Oh yeah, I'm Truth Social / like.
Once they see that, they're not going to look at any of the other stuff.
I'm truthsocial.com/reverse Angliophile, and that means I love America.
It has never been a better time to be anonymous on the internet.
That's true.
We had like a kind of a curve there. Originally, everyone was anonymous. Even like, there's a lot of like old heads on Twitter who are like now like prominent figures, but they're still going by like their old like handles and stuff. Everyone was anonymous, and then everyone was public. And I think it's time we all, well, obviously not me. It's too late for me. But there was don't use your fucking legal name. Don't use your own photo.
Wired did a great. It's such a funny title, but it's serious. And it's OPSEC for teens. And I don't think that that's just for teens. I know a lot of adults my age and older that could really use a nice read of OPSEC for teenagers, because if you're like not protecting yourself online, like...
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of older people need that as well.
Yes, they should send that brochure to the retirement homes.
This is obviously great timing considering we are allegedly hosting the World Cup this summer. That's an event that draws spectators from around the world and is usually a huge boon to tourism, but maybe not so much this time, now that we're giving all international visitors the third degree, including our good friends in countries that usually just get to walk right in.
A week and a half ago, I would have agreed with you. And then the president of FIFA gave Trump the Peace Prize.
Yeah, well, supposedly there's like a little like an expedited program for FIFA ticket holders, but even that is like not like that just moves you to the front of the line. Yeah, but it doesn't really. You still have to hand over all this shit when you show up.
Well, wait till you see Peace Prize 2. That no one's ever won a sequel.
Back-to-back Peace Prize.
He's gonna be like the Dodgers.
So yeah, that's rapidly approaching. I guess we'll see how that turns out.
It's 6 months away.
Maybe they're just hoping that in the next 7 months, the American public will suddenly, for the first time ever, get really into soccer to the degree where we don't need people visiting. We're filling all the stadiums ourselves.
That 7 months ago might have been true. But unfortunately, a lot of the Hispanic community in areas that would have turned out probably won't now.
Yeah. No. I mean, it was already...
Christmas parades have been canceled here locally, like stuff like that. It's still affecting day to day. They were just here in fucking Northeast LA yesterday again.
Yeah, I mean, they're clearly gonna. They're looking at it. They're drooling. They see it as a big honeypot. Yeah, in a lot of ways. So, yeah, great. Meanwhile, though, it's not just foreign travelers whose entire online presences are under a microscope. Even if you live here, the Border Patrol might demand to rummage around in your phone. And that's made a lot of folks choose to, just as a precaution, wipe their phones before going through customs. But that's apparently a crime now, as reported by 404 Media.
A man in Atlanta has been arrested and charged for allegedly deleting data from a Google Pixel phone before a member of a secretive Customs and Border Protection, CBP, unit was able to search it, according to court records and social media posts reviewed by 404 Media. The man, Samuel Tunick, is described as a local Atlanta activist in Instagram and other posts discussing the case. The exact circumstances around the search, such as why CBP wanted to search the phone in the first place, are not known. But it is uncommon to see someone charged specifically for wiping a phone, a feature that is easily accessible in some privacy and security-focused devices. The indictment says on January 24th, Tunick did knowingly destroy, damage, waste, dispose of, and otherwise take any action to delete the digital contents of a Google Pixel cellular phone for the purpose of preventing and impairing the government's lawful authority to take said property into its custody and control. The indictment itself was filed in mid-November.
Like, let's take this logic to its extreme. Like, if you ever delete data,
are
you destroying evidence? Yeah. Like, even if, like, I just don't understand.
You know what?
Evidence of what? We don't know what evidence was destroyed, but we're just like assuming you would only do that if like they've got it all fucking backwards.
I'll take it even further since I'm giving out free evil ideas. If you don't back up your phone, you're committing several crimes. You better back that thing up all the time. It better be in the cloud right now. I got Dave in tech support looking at your phone and it is not backed up.
This is so fucking wild. So, and what's especially crazy about this is that the inciting incident here happened all the way back in January, just a few days into the Trump administration. This guy went through an airport customs thing.
He didn't even have the JD Vance meme. It wasn't around yet.
Yeah, they said, show us the phone. And he's like, here you go. And it was just like default. And they're like, well, I'm going to take a note here. And yeah, and then they waited until now, almost a full year, to actually arrest him for it. Like they hunted this guy down and arrested him for deleting stuff off his phone. It's got to be worrying for anyone else who went through customs in the past year and handed them a wiped phone when they demanded to look through their devices. Apparently, that's destroying evidence. I don't really get it. Doesn't seem like the kind of thing that a judge who isn't a total hack would agree with. But even if this does get tossed out eventually, this guy still had to experience getting arrested by the FBI on serious charges and still has to go through the legal process, which is expensive and very inconvenient. So Trump wins either way, really.
Yeah, this is the lawfare that people are talking about.
Yeah,
you're taking people who are innocent and can't afford to defend themselves and ruining their lives, even if it's temporarily. That has repercussions throughout the rest of their fucking lives.
Yeah.
So that's really what's going on here. Even if he gets off scot-free because he didn't do anything wrong, if he's completely exonerated, it's still a hassle to go through. And yeah.
It's also just like, what if you don't have social media? What if what if you just don't have any of those things on your phone?
You got to work on your Amish accent.
You didn't delete it because it was never there.
Oh, I'm sorry, English. I got no apps. Sorry.
You use the phone to gamble, and that's it.
Yeah, you'll be pleased to know I only have Kalshi on my phone. Yeah. Kalshi and the UFC app. That's what you need to go. You need to screenshot the UFC, Kalshi, Robinhood, Truth Social, and all that. Screenshot it, and then when you hand the phone, it's just a screenshot of what a phone looks like.
Or get a case for your phone that you only use when you travel, and it's just a Trump case.
Yeah.
And
the Trumpy Bear charm.
They'll be like, all right, handle the phone. You hand it up, and they're like, oh, we're good.
You don't want to see the gold wingtips?
Yeah.
I got the Trump shoes too.
We all need to like start assuming personas when we travel of just like the worst Americans possible.
Yep.
But only for when we're flying in.
Yeah.
You put on your MAGA hick disguise and they just wave you on through.
If you're a woman, all you have to do really is you pull your bangs down like this, and then you put the hair up in the back. You just put it up.
Yeah.
And then you go, you asked what about my phone? You asked, excuse me? I think you should turn around and go get your fucking manager is what I think.
Yeah. We speak English here.
I don't care where I am. You are in my international border.
Yeah. And in quite a border it is.
Yes. You are in my orbit.
American women have much larger borders than women from other parts of the world. And we're proud of that.
My impersonation was a average sized woman.
Oh, I was thinking of a fat lady.
Yeah. Well. Moving on to some lighter news. Funny segue. News that's still emblematic of how deranged this administration is. The war on woke has come for fonts. So unless you work with text a lot, you may not realize this, but some typefaces are based and red-pilled, and other typefaces are woke and gay. And this week, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said, enough is enough. No more of those DEI fonts. And before we explain all this malarkey, we should first explain some basic font facts. First off, there's two main categories of fonts. On one side, you've got your Helvetica, Arial, Calibri, Futura, etc. On the other side, you've got your Times New Roman, your Baskerville, Georgia, Courier, etc. And the difference is the second category are what are called serifs, while the first category is sans serifs. And serifs are just those extra lines that are there for mostly aesthetic reasons. Serif fonts are considered more old-fashioned because they are, while sans serif fonts are considered more modern, and there's always been a fair amount of debate over which type of font is easier to read on screens or in print.
So what the hell does this have to do with DEI, you ask?
Everything does.
It's all DEI. So here's the New York Times. Secretary of State Marco Rubio waded into the surprisingly fraught politics of typefaces on Tuesday with an order halting the State Department's official use of Calibri, reversing a 2023 Biden-era directive that Mr. Rubio called a wasteful sop to diversity. While mostly framed as a matter of clarity and formality in presentation, Mr. Rubio's directive to all diplomatic posts around the world blamed radical diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility programs for what he said was a misguided and ineffective switch from the serif typeface Times New Roman to sans serif Calibri in official department paperwork. In an action request memo obtained by the New York Times, Mr. Rubio said that switching back to the use of Times New Roman would restore decorum and professionalism to the department's written work. Calibri is informal when compared to serif typefaces like Times New Roman, the order said, and clashes with the department's official letterhead.
A State Department official confirmed the document's authenticity. Mr. Rubio's directive, under the subject line, Return to Tradition,
Jesus.
Times New Roman 14-point font required for all department paper, served as the latest attempt by the Trump administration to stamp out remnants of diversity initiatives across the federal government. Then Secretary of State Antony J. Blinken ordered the 2023 typeface shift on the recommendation of the State Department's Office of Diversity and Inclusion, which Mr. Rubio has since abolished. The change was meant to improve accessibility for readers with disabilities such as low vision and dyslexia, and people who use assistive technologies such as screen readers. Calibri, sometimes described as soft and modern, is typically considered more accessible for people with reading challenges thanks to its simpler shapes and wider spacing, which makes its letters easier to distinguish. Mr. Blinken's move was applauded by accessibility advocates. And yeah, you know how many boomers phones I see with like literally the dyslexia font on it? Like, This was good for a lot of people.
Yeah.
The people without problems reading it can read it just fine. And people who have problems reading serif fonts could also contribute to the world. But I guess we can't have that.
No, we can't. We can't. That dyslexia font, the actual dyslexia font, is crazy. Because it looks weird, but then you start reading and you're like, wow. Yeah. Real easy on the eyes. Shouldn't be. It's a weird looking font.
It's always,
they did it. They figured it out.
Anytime I see it, it's always on an Android phone with a customizable background that makes it illegible again. It's always like some barnyard wood thing with like ladybug cartoons on it. I've only seen like older women, like moms and stuff.
The one that drives me nuts, and I've only seen this on like Reddit, like people screenshotting their own phones, is when they change like the entire system theme to be Comic Sans.
Yeah.
In like everything. Their text, like all text is now Comic Sans. I'm like, how do you live like this? How do you live like this? I would lose my damn mind.
These are the people that should have the VR headsets on.
Yeah, we should put them in the pod.
Get in the pod.
So, Calibri was literally the default Microsoft Office font for 17 years. It's not like there's nothing woke about it. But
well, if it's good enough for Office enterprise software, I don't want it anywhere near the average American.
I mean, sure, Marco, whatever. It's woke DEI. It's got to go. This is very important. How are our war fighters going to fight wars if they're looking at gay fonts all day instead of based Roman fonts? I mean, if rejecting legibility was so important to him, at least they didn't switch to a German black letter font as much as a lot of them probably really wanted to.
Oh, those look good. Wow.
Fraktur.
Very bold.
Yes.
Not going to mistake what that says.
It's giving me, I don't know what it's giving. I can't say, actually. I just figured out what it is. And yes, great font. Anyway, moving on. Trump threw himself a little rally on Tuesday night to give himself a nice little self-esteem bump at a time when he's very unpopular and everyone's laughing at him and saying that he has dementia. His performance at the rally did not help with the dementia accusations, though. Here's a quick taste of how that went.
For minors, do we love minors? I love minors. Transgender to everybody. I love her. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Even I will give myself a hand, because I love the weave. The weave. You know what the weave is? You go here, bing, 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 bing. You always have to get back to the right location. Transgender for every member in your family. 4 more years! 4 more years! And they want us to go to batteries. Let's go to batteries. We don't have battery content, so let's go to batteries. And the global warming, it was getting so warm. You can give up pencils. But they have a new word. They always have a hoax. The new word is affordability. So they look at the camera and they say, this election is all about affordability. They said, sir, we're going to buy plastic eggs this year. Plastic eggs. Go out and buy a Dell computer. You know, every child can get 37 pencils. They only need one or two. You know, they don't need that many. But you always need steel. You don't need 37 dolls for your daughter. 2 or 3 is nice, but you don't need 37 dolls. Here we go again. Ladies and gentlemen, I got indicted again. Let me tell you, black people love Trump. I see he's enjoying it. I like people that enjoy things. When she gets up there with that beautiful face and those lips that don't stop, up like a little machine gun. You know, you might say, I like him. He's really good. Russia, 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 bullshit. Very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of that stuff.
Wow.
So, yeah, went a lot of places with that. He definitely did the weave. But not included in that clip compilation was the virulent racism captured here by NPR. Why is it we only take people from shithole countries, right? Woo, Trump said on stage. Why can't we have some people from Norway, Sweden, just a few? Trump said he objected to taking immigrants from hellholes like Afghanistan, Haiti, Somalia, and many other countries. He added for emphasis that those places are a disaster, right? Filthy, dirty, disgusting, ridden with crime. And this is, I just want to say, like, this is just, the thing that drives me fucking crazy about Trump, and a lot of people think this way, and you do not understand, like, the entire history of migration since the dawn of humanity. The people aren't coming from places where they're comfortable and have a nice life, like Sweden and Norway. They have no fucking reason to move here unless it's a very specific reason. They're well taken care of. Why would you leave Sweden or Norway where you have just a great social safety net? You never have to worry about going to the doctor or anything like that.
You can hop, skip, and a jump to any European country you want in a day.
Yeah. Why the fuck would they be banging at the door to come in here? No, the people coming here, and this is throughout the entire history of the United States, the waves of immigration come from places where people are trying to get the fuck out. There are so many people in this country who are Irish Americans, including a lot of people who love Trump. The only reason they're fucking here is because they literally had to leave Ireland or they were going to die.
Yeah.
And it just drives me fucking mad. Yeah, no, you're never going to get a world where people from stable, wealthy countries are coming here en masse to migrate.
We did have that when they would come to visit, though, and now they won't even do that.
Yeah, well, maybe now if I look at everything they've ever posted online, maybe then they'll want to come.
Wait, hold on. All of these people from Norway and Sweden talk a lot about socialized healthcare. I guess they can't come in. They must be communists. Anyways, that rally was supposed to primarily be about how the economy is great and how there's no inflation.
Nope.
And everything is really affordable, which is the main issue that he is losing supporters over. And he did talk about that stuff a little bit, but it was mostly the same stream of consciousness drivel as ever. And it's hard to imagine anyone concerned about their grocery prices was actually swayed by this.
He did. I mean, he jangled the keys. Maybe they just forgot.
There was a great clip compilation. I'm glad someone put it together. But throughout the election last year, how many times he addressed the affordability crisis, and then last week,
affordability.
Affordability is a Democrat hoax.
Yeah, it's a hoax.
Anyways, let's be real here. There were a lot of different factors that went into the 2024 election results, but everything being expensive while the Biden administration pretended otherwise was probably the biggest factor for otherwise normal people who voted for Trump. So this does not bode well for those 2026 midterms. Unfortunately, those midterms are 11 months away.
Cool.
Next
year, they've got almost a full year to make things actually affordable.
We've got the slap chop guy running for office. We got JFK's grandson running against our. We got the twink off in New York.
I'm on Team Caskey.
Cam Caskey.
Cam Caskey.
In the war of the twinks, we choose Cam.
Yeah, he's my twink. I don't know about this Kennedy. Cameron earned his twink status. Mm-hmm. Jack Schlossberg was born into it.
Yeah,
it's not fair.
Yeah, and there's going to be so much more to come. Not looking forward to it as much as just anticipating it, bracing myself for it.
I do love how he's like, every other day, he's like, yeah, gas is like $1 now. And people are like, yeah. And it's like, woo, you put gas in your car within the last week. Like, it didn't cost $1. It doesn't cost that. You can look up gas prices across the country.
They assume that he's talking about some wonderful imaginary place.
You can literally go on the internet and
the internet lies.
You look up the gas prices at every gas station in the country. This is tracked meticulously, and you will see that the cheapest it is like $3.15.
Elliot, you don't live in this kind of family. I've pulled up the historical gas prices throughout history, going back decades for my dad, and he will not believe it.
But like he puts gas in his car.
No, but he'll tell you that that's wrong. He's like, no, I remember in 1997, it was like, they just don't care. And it's a different reality. The reality that is being presented to them through facts and statistics is not real. It is their Mandela effect.
It's also like, I mean, the gas prices as like an issue is really, it annoys me. It has way too much prominence. People put way too much weight in it, but also like adjusted for inflation, Gas is the cheapest it's ever fucking been.
Yeah. Adjusted for inflation. Don't get mad at us.
And that's true of like the last 5 years. Yeah. Like it should realistically be like $12, $13 a gallon. Right. The fact it isn't is that's
in the. Well, I mean, I know it was during like the Iraq. The second Iraq war, and then leading into the Afghanistan war. But yeah, like gas prices were like $3 back in like the mid 2000s, and adjusted for inflation, that's a lot more than it is now. But still, it's a dumb argument.
Yeah.
He's going to drop drug prices by 5,000%.
Sure.
Then you're going to be making money.
They're going to pay you to take their drugs.
Every American gets a chicken.
Chicken in every pot and a prescription drug in every mouth.
And Ozempic, you fatty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, one more story for today, and we're sorry. This is an all-Trump episode.
He's having quite a week.
That's all. We live in hell, and it's just the way it is. We didn't make it that way. We mentioned this in our previous episode, but one of the tactics that Donald Trump has been using against his political enemies this year is accusing them of mortgage fraud and trying to have them prosecuted for it. But it turns out the exact type of mortgage fraud that he's accusing all these other people of is something he himself is guilty of doing.
Oh,
what?
Wow.
No.
Huh.
Here's ProPublica. For months, the Trump administration has been accusing its political enemies of mortgage fraud for claiming more than one primary residence. President Donald Trump branded one foe who did so deceitful and potentially criminal. He called another crooked on Truth Social and pushed the Attorney General to take action. But years earlier, Trump did the very thing he's accusing his enemies of. Records show, in 1993, Trump signed a mortgage for a Bermuda-style home in Palm Beach, Florida, pledging that it would be his principal residence. Just 7 weeks later, he got another mortgage for a 7-bedroom marble-floored neighboring property, attesting that it, too, would be his principal residence.
In reality, Trump, then a New Yorker, does not appear to have ever lived in either home, let alone used them as a principal residence. Instead, the two houses, which are next to his historic Mar-a-Lago estate, were used as investment properties and rented out, according to contemporaneous news accounts and an interview with his longtime real estate agent. Exactly the sort of scenario his administration has pointed to as evidence of fraud. Mortgage law experts who reviewed the records for ProPublica were struck by the irony of Trump's dual mortgages. They said claiming primary residence on different mortgages at the same time, as Trump did, is often legal and rarely prosecuted. But Trump's two loans, they said, exceed the low bar the Trump administration itself has set for mortgage fraud. Given Trump's position on situations like this, he's going to either need to fire himself or refer himself to the Department of Justice, said Kathleen Engel, a Suffolk University law professor and leading expert on mortgage finance, who also doesn't get what Trump's all about. He's not going to do that, lady. Trump has deemed that this type of misrepresentation is sufficient to preclude someone from serving the country. Oh, you've got him now. You've got him now. He's going to walk up and he's going to go, "Take me away. Oh, you've got me." Did you point out something that I've done that other people have done?
I mean, I don't think she's being serious. It is a really funny.
I know.
It is a funny thing that liberals love to do, where they think if they catch a conservative being hypocritical, it's like checkmate.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they don't fucking care.
You have to have shame to get that, yes.
So yeah, shocker. Not only is this not actually a very serious violation, but it's something Trump is definitely guilty of himself. Anyway, we do have to include the official White House response to this report because it is incredible. Yeah. In response to questions, a White House spokesperson told ProPublica, President Trump's two mortgages you are referencing are from the same lender. There was no defraudation. It is illogical to believe that the same lender would agree to defraud itself. The spokesperson added, this is yet another desperate attempt by the left-wing media to disparage President Trump with false allegations, and said, President Trump has never or will ever break the law.
Just putting that out there.
That's
how they're gonna
never and will never. I'm saying it right now.
That's the new,
Not in the past, present, or future.
That's going to be the new sign off from thank you for your attention to this matter.
Yeah.
Everything's going to sign off. Well,
I have never and will never break the law.
Which prevents me from any future prosecution. Because I made a promise.
Like, I'm pretty sure he's like violated the law, like been prosecuted. He has, like, especially as like a real estate guy. I'm sure it's like not like criminal, put you behind bars shit, but I'm pretty sure he's violated the law, like, and been prosecuted. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. It would be crazy if he hadn't.
Well, no, that's just an outrageous thing to put at the end of the.
Yeah.
It's just that the White
He
House
will also never die.
The
President
White
Trump will
House
never
in
die.
this term understands the actual power that they have, which is that Trump is too old and too rich and quite literally too untouchable to give a fuck. So they are doing whatever they want right now. And that's why I think we've seen a lot of the stuff in just this year, because I feel like Trump is fading. I feel like his approval ratings are actually in the toilet. I feel like people like Hegseth and Patel have done jobs bad enough that the American public are finally starting to be like, oh, we made a mistake. And so they're trying to push all the craziest shit we've ever seen as fast as possible. It's like they are aware that this is a powerful position to be in.
It's still ridiculous. I don't know. Like they doth protest too much.
But that's what I'm saying. They're being
PR
so
stuff.
blatant because they feel as though there will never be consequences.
I guess it's just like they're silly about it. They're silly people. They're not serious people. They're
Fucking
silly.
Pete Hegseth was like, AI is going to make us all more lethal.
He put up AI like giant AI posters in the Pentagon of just like Pete Hegseth. He's like Uncle Sam, and he's like Pete Hegseth says use AI. It's like, what is this? What are we doing here?
It's the gayest thing I've ever seen.
It's very
No offense to actual gay people, but like, it's
it's got that
it's like the fake masculinity.
yeah, it's the desperate closeted energy.
Yes.
Well, they're all projecting a false sense of masculinity they know is not properly earned.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
No actual combat troop thinks Pete Hegseth is a badass, and he knows that, and it kills him.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it for this episode. We will be back for more. Please stay tuned. But in the meantime, we have other episodes for you to watch. They're going to pop up right over there. In the meantime of that, click the like button. We really appreciate it.
Also, this wasn't sponsored.
Oh, yeah,
so
this wasn't sponsored. It's the giving season.
Yeah.
Click the join button, become a member. I think that's fun. It's like $4.
Yeah.
You had a good time.
You don't need to spend like $40. No one needs to spend that much. You just spend
$4.
$2, $3, $4, and that's all you need.
Maybe 6, 7.
No.
Anyways, just like the video. That's all that really matters. Leave a comment, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.